Okay, so 8:30. The smell is starting to change. In other words, it's been cooking. So maybe the bacon has to come off or something, because it's starting to smell like as if it's been maybe overcooking a little bit. But then that could just be me, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take it out now and see what we got. Okay. And this I can't see. This is where I need Andre, but okay, so there is liquid in there. Some bacon. I'm tired. I'm gathering up the jars. I'm going to start washing the jars. I'm going to see if I can degrease. Now, some of this bacon I can mix in when I do this. I could. Yeah. I'm too tired for this. I can't see how dark it is. So it looks like it got dark because like I said, I can smell it. But that's just on the outside. Maybe I should have had a lid on it. Maybe I should have kept a lid on it. But that's okay. You can see. Where's the fork? There it is. Right? Let's see. Well, tastes like beef. No. What I could do, I could just put the lid on this. Well, no, I need to degrease a little bit. There we go. I got an idea, maybe. Alright, move this anyway. Maybe what we'll do. Oh my lord. It's a nice cast iron Dutch oven. Have to move it anyway for the pot, for the broth, right? I think maybe I'll just lay down and take a nap. I'll do better. Do want a little treats out and just get a million views. Just smacking my lips, sticking out my tongue. All right, how can we do this? As I said, I'm just losing all my silverware. I don't know what is that water. My spoons, my big spoons, my fucking silverware. I tell him, we keep losing the silverware. I don't know what he does with it. He's so negligent when it comes to that shit. I said, pretty soon, you're not gonna have anything to eat with, because You just don't. You can eat with your freaking fingers. And then maybe you'll appreciate what you have. Because I don't know what the hell it does. It makes me mad every day. I get mad. Okay. So, I'd say I should have had the lid on. It looks like it got a little dark. I don't know if it burnt or not. I just don't know. But that's the fact. So, either or. See, this is where I can't see. This is why I don't want a can no more. Very much. I should have taken this out 2 hours ago. Yeah, what is that? It's awfully long. So it comes out in strings. Doesn't taste burnt. I took it out just in time because I could smell it. Whoa. I could smell it, right? Oh boy. There we go. Put that one on the bottom. And then we're going to take this one. I'll just put that there for now. Looks like this one. And then we're going to taste this liquid. But it's going to have a lot of grease on it. I'm going to put that on top of that. I don't know. Maybe I should have left the lid on. It probably would have been a little moister. Or at least put the lid on later or something. Like halfway through it or something maybe. And then... oh, just, all my spoons are missing. Like this kid is something else. Because he throws things. I find shit over there. Been doing it ever since he's been a kid. I just want to taste the broth. Okay. You can taste the smoke in it. Just a little bit. Too hot though. Oh, that was hot. Not too strong, not too mild. I would say it's just right. In terms of the smoke, that is. Okay. So the next time I do this, which will be with the next one that comes, I am going to, what do you call it? Have the lid on at some point. Now I could take off some of this surface stuff. Do you see? From what I can tell. Because I could smell it, right? It looks like it might have been starting to burn. But it doesn't taste burnt. So, just keep that in mind. So now what we're going to do, I guess, I don't know if this lid will fit on it. Oh. So we'll just let it sit in the Dutch oven, and the heat of that will heat up the Dutch oven. And then this I need to pour into a something, a glass bowl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this into a glass bowl and let the grease come to the surface. And then I'm going to use that maybe diluted with a bit of water or something. Well, whatever is there, I'll spread out between the jars that I fill up with this. I'll spread it out as evenly as I can between the jars. And then I'll top off with water. That'll work. So nothing goes to waste, right? So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm tired. I got up at 1, 2 in the morning, and it's already 9. I only slept for a few hours. I'm burning a lot of energy and not eating very much. But I'm sure once this is done, it will be good. So hold that. Okay, so now it's 1 o'clock. So I did go lay down and slept for a little bit. And I have my coffee, and now I'm starting to move. So, okay, so now we're picking up. May 12th, 2025. So that is $17 worth of bones. I want you to listen to the construction that's going on. It's all day, all morning, all night. Well, not at night, but it stops around 5 or 6. It starts at 5:30, 6 in the morning, going all day. It's just all day. Anyway, $17 in bones. I'm double doing it. I'm not doing the bigger pot. I'm just doing this pot. I will fill it up, and that's all I'm doing. And then we got this shank, right, for $9 and some odd cents. Yeah, $9.30. Where am I? Where's my? I don't see very well. Anyway, $9.31 for this. Can you imagine that? It's frozen too. So we're just going to put that in there because we want to make it rich, right? There's 2 little pieces. Can you imagine that? That was $9. So 17 plus 9, $26 basically for that. Wow. But I didn't pay for it. I got it on my PC points. Plus I got that other piece of meat on my PC points. So technically it was free. Right? So now I'm just going to fill up the pot, bring it to a boil, turn it down, put the lid on it, and that will stay until probably tomorrow. I won't have to worry about it. Now, in terms of... Oh, I can't see, man. In terms of what I'm going to can now, at some point in the next hour or 2, is that. It's still sitting there. So it needs to be cut up. Okay? And then this is the broth that I'm going to use basically, but for whatever reason My spoons are missing. I have no spoons in here. I don't know. I'm talking about those big ones. Yeah. I need them. I use them for cooking.
I won't touch them.
The big ones. Like, all my silverware is going missing. Like, it's not funny, man. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
I just want to take a piece of bacon.
What I need you to do, maybe for me, do you see this? Do you see that oil? Where's... I can't even see the camera. Do you see that oil? Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, what about?
I need you to take that surface oil off for me. Go get a bowl and start taking off the surface oil because I want to use the liquid underneath it. Okay? Please? You got better eyesight than me.
What jar do?
Whatever you think.
Use it.
Okay? Put it on the plate so you don't get it all over the stove. And then just... Oh, that's a mason jar, but whatever. Okay. All you do you see? Right? That's clean, right?
Yes.
So put that in the fridge. It will probably harden. And you can probably fry with that as well. Okay? When you start getting into broth, when it starts showing color, you're getting down, okay? So take off as much as you can because I don't want that in the jar when I'm canning. Hold on. Andre's learning how to cook. Just take your time with it. Yeah. Alright. Maybe move the plate over. You don't want it on the stove, okay? Okay, do you hear that? This is shit I listen to all day. Alright, so this is where we're at. I had a little detour. Alright, so we just got a small pot, right? We're gonna make it really, really rich. Alright, 2 packs of bones and those shanks. You can see it's now starting to come. So once it comes, I'm going to turn it down and put the lid on it, and that's going to stew until tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it. Here we got this ready for to get the next piece of meat in. This has been out of the oven since whenever. Andre says it's been really good since this morning. It's fine. Beef is a little forgiving, so as soon as I get this in the oven, which I'll show you in a minute, okay, that's going to be dealt with, and then we're going to get on to canning because we're going to use this. Now, I had to... Andre was kind enough to take out all the grease. Now, don't forget, there's bacon fat in there as well, so of course it's going to look like that. But this is the broth. That's the stuff that I am going to divvy up the way I like to. Let me taste it. Oh, my God. Oh my God, that is so good, man. It's so natural and so deep and rich and flavorful. Oh my God. Huh, it gave me goosebumps. All right. So there's some good coming out of this after all. All right. So, oh my God. Whew, that is so good. So that's what we're going to divvy up between the jars. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to grab this piece of meat. We gotta pick up the momentum here. I really went whoosh. I crashed. Where's that piece of meat? Don't tell me the cats ran off with it. Here it is. Oh, it's a little smaller. Not much smaller. Just a little bit. Oh my God. Oh, I so wish I could see better, but you just got to deal with it. So this one costed... Oh my Lord. Andre thinks it's not as fatty, but we'll see. This one was $77.26. And then of course we've got the beef, yeah. So, $77. So this one is $77. The other one was 89. Now this one, I'm going to do my way. The last one, what I should have done, honestly, I think, is I should have had a lid on it. And maybe at first no lid, but as it was cooking, I should have just put the lid on it. But I didn't. And it kind of dried out the meat. But it's okay. It's really tasty. From that, and Andre really likes it. He's been eating it. Okay? Now this one, I think what I want to do, well, obviously I have to defat it. Andre said there's not as much fat on this as the other one had, but that remains to be seen yet. Yeah, there's still some there. So what we're going to do, oh my Lord, is we're going to take off that excess fat and we're going to put it in with the rest of the fat, and then this will get canned tomorrow, because what's going to end up happening here, I'm sorry, I got to walk away and put this in the garbage because there's no place to put it here, and I don't want to cross-contaminate at this point any more than I am what I'm doing here. So we're just going to put that there, and hopefully the cats won't get into it. So, and then we've got the fat that I cut off from yesterday right here, which is nice and hard and cold, which ultimately I should grind up before I render it, because if you grind it up, it will be easier than cutting it. However, if you cut it when it's cold into small pieces, because when you're rendering you want to cut it into small pieces or grind it up. The more smaller the piece, the better off it is, right? So when it's cold and solidified, it's easier to cut it, okay, if you don't have a grinder, versus trying to do it this way. So we're going to just take off. So this time I'm not going to put bacon on it. I didn't like it. It got overcooked. Andre didn't even like the bacon. It wasn't necessary. I just did it. Okay, so we know I'm not going to do that again, right? I don't think it's necessary to have it in the oven for 12 hours. I don't. As a matter of fact, I when I show you the result of that, it's not gonna hold its shape when it's, I don't think so. Whereas this time around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously prep this right now to the best of my ability, right? Okay, and we'll deal with this stuff in a day or two, and we're going to render that. And yes, we will can the jars for long-term food storage in your pantry without having to freeze it. We're gonna attempt to do that, right? Only we're gonna seal the jars in a water bath after the fact of filling them up. Okay? There's two ways of doing it. Well, beef anyway, and pork. Right? A water bath, I could see 30 minutes after you put in this in a jar. And once it's sealed, you should be good. Because beef tallow is shelf stable, I think, out in the open air, or at least in the fridge, up to a year. So you could have a jar of homemade beef tallow in a jar, using it every time you use it for a whole year. And I'm assuming that you would want to keep the jar in the fridge, okay? Apparently you can freeze it for 2 years. Now, mine have been in the freezer downstairs for probably 3 years. I don't know, maybe even 4. Definitely 3 years. So it's past the 2-year mark. But I'm feeling confident that it will be fine. Okay? Now, if you can it where you seal the lid, you can get a shelf life of it at least 5 years. And that's what they put butter at. And when you can butter, not ghee, but butter, there's a difference, right? If you decide to can butter and you pressure can it as you would a low acid food when it came to a meat product, the shelf life is estimated to be 5 years, but depending on how you store the jar, it could last 10, 15 years or longer, okay? I'm just saying, right? People don't understand that stuff, but it's true. Yeah, it's true. Obviously, the darker, the cooler the place, the more stable it becomes, right? Is it like coming brand new off the freaking pressure canner? No, but it will still be tasty and nutritional to one degree or another, and it's going to be filling you up, okay? As long as you prepare it beforehand, before you consume it. All right. So, in this situation then, we're going to take this tallow, this lard, this fat, and we're going to render it, and then we're going to water bath it to seal the jars. So I will walk you through that, but that won't be for a few days. We got to get a handle on this first. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go on what I think I should do, how I want to deal with this problem. Okay, so obviously take off the excess fat, because you can't can it per se with the meat and the liquid, because with what the liquid does is it builds vortexes in your jar, so that, right, as the heat travels through it under pressure, and then it spits because of the vortex, right? And then that's what releases the air and things that are building up in the jar. So if you've got fat, you know, floating around in the jar, it's coming up with the juices, and then it you know, it compromises your ring with the seal. So, you know, you can have some fat in your jar, but it has to be minimal. And besides, you want, oh my God, this thing is covered in fat, Andre. What are you talking about? There's tons of it here. Oh my Lord. I wish I could see it better. Oh my God, come on. You can do this. There's a whole whack of it here. You just want it minimal. Oh, this is going to make some really nice tallow if I can get it off. Yeah. And if you seal the jar, it'll be 5 years or more shelf stable in a cool, dark place. So, closer to the ground, remember that. North wall for stuff like this. Right? That's the best. In a box. Like a Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. Oh, wait till you see this piece of fat here. Oh my God. I have an electric grinder, but I don't want to dig it out. I'm so stressed out digging out things. I might have to try and do this by hand. Because to cut it, it takes a long time to cut it. And again, you kind of have to have it in small pieces to get the bang for your buck. So that, oh my Lord, this is crazy. See, I don't mind. I gotta be careful, I just don't cut my fingers. I don't mind the fat, because that's why I bought it. Right? If it didn't have the amount of fat on it, for the price, $5.49 a pound, I wouldn't have bought it because I just wouldn't have. But when you buy sirloin steak and roasts and those kind of things, you're not getting this fat. You get very little fat. So, you know, if you want tallow, you're not going to find it in those meats, that's for sure. But you find it here, that's for sure. So I kind of bought it for the fat. The meat was secondary because I don't eat brisket, I don't cook with brisket, and I've never canned brisket. So why would I be interested in buying brisket? I'm not. Outside of, I wanted all this beautiful fat, which is hard to get off. I mean, clearly my knife is not that great, and I can't see shit. Let's try this knife. Okay. A different kind of knife. There we go. Seems to be a little easier. Plus, I don't have a large workspace right now. Oh yeah, that cut right into the meat. Gotta be careful. See, this is where you need eyesight. I'll show you. Look at this. This is what I bought it for. This is exactly what I wanted. Oh yeah. Do you see that? That's all fat. That is nice. Yeah. And then it has that real lardy white fat on a different part in here. So you get two different types. You get this one and you get the other one. And it's going to make some really nice tallow. And then so in a couple of weeks from now, when I'm a little more caught up with everything, and now that Andre is starting to cook more and stuff, he's going to go get the tallow from the freezer downstairs. Right? You got to be strong for this, man. But you definitely need eyes. It would be better if you had eyes to see. Because I'm really struggling here, but the fat is working with me. This different kind. This different kind. But it still gives you that good stuff. Andre, can you turn off the camera for me for now? Will I finish this and then I'll come back? Andre, turn off the camera for now, so I can finish defatting this, and then I'll explain to them after what I'm done. I can't because I'm cutting this. This my hands are all gross. Okay, so I'm struggling with this. It's heavy. I cut it into 4 parts. I took out as much as I possibly can in terms of the fat. You can see what's going on there. So that's going in the fridge. And you know what? I'll tell you in a minute. And then we're going to take some of this sea salt, which is a little better than a Celtic. It's like a Celtic, only it has a few more sea minerals in them. Right? Right? So we're just going to, oh yeah. And then, can you see this? Oh man, this is so good. You don't even know. It's delicious. And then that's the pork fat. And combined in with the tallow, with that on the bottom, which would be really, really tasty. Yeah. So, this you can probably I don't want to say re-render and then re-jar it, but yeah, basically. Okay, so I have a brand new, I don't think I've ever used it either. I bought it when I was going to make cat food to grind up bones and stuff. There's only 3 places that thing should be. And honestly, I'm not in the mood to be hand cranking this fat or standing here for 3 hours trying to cut it with a knife. I'm just not. So I kind of want to look for it. The first place I would look would be in the playroom. But who knows? That girl ran off with that steamer, so why wouldn't she run off with something like that? She would, if she thought she could get away with it. So, I don't know. I'm going to look in the playroom first. I'm going to do about that much salt. Not that much. I'm going to look in the playroom first. And if not there, then that means I have to get into the small bathroom, which I highly doubt that it would be there. And if it's not there, then it would be in there, in that right there, that pantry, which I'd have to move that shit and dig around in there and get in there. And if it's not there, then that means she took it. But technically, it should be, honestly, in the playroom, I would think. I don't know if that's enough salt. Shit, I don't think that was enough salt. I don't want to over salt it. You see, that's the thing. Plus, it's going to have its own, it's going to release its own salt. So maybe that much more, so 2 teaspoons. About 2 teaspoons. I would think for all that meat and everything, after it's all said and done, I think that should be more than enough. Front and back. 1 teaspoon on top and 1 on the bottom. Because there's 4 chunks of meat in here. And I'm just going to spread it around. I don't, it's in chunks. It will melt and just get it in there. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the tarragon. If you want tarragon with your meat after the fact, you can add the tarragon later, right? Now, in regards to homemade sidekicks, I can do rice or macaroni with broccoli. I have dehydrated broccoli. I have different types of macaroni. I have lots of miscellaneous rice. Okay? And, I could throw in a couple of little peas or something in there. And I've got onion flakes I've dehydrated. And I got old kale from 2015 that's still green. I'm just saying. A few flakes of that, right? And then, if I want to make it a tarragon taste, I can put in a half a teaspoon or whatever it is of tarragon leaf in with the little pouch that I make with this. And then what happens is, when you're ready to make your own little sidekick, or even a sidekick in its original package, you just open up one of these jars with this beef. Pre-cook it, and you got beef with your sidekick, whether it's store-bought or whether it's homemade. And we're going to be making some homemade. But first, I have to find my grinder, and I want to use it because I want to. So I better fucking find it. Obviously, if it's in there, I'm not getting in there today. But if I don't find it in the next 2 days between the bathroom and the playroom, I'm pretty sure it's gone. Because I know what is in there. And it should not be in there. No. Because I wanted to make cat food. If I wanted to make corn chips and tortillas with real corn, then I've got a hand crank grinder that has a specific bit to be able to process the corn after you cook it with lime, pickling lime, to change the molecules so that when you want to make flour, maize, or whatever the hell it's called, yeah. Okay, so this is now going in the oven at I think I'm going to start it at 225 because I don't want to overcook it. As a matter of fact, I want it rare. I want it half cooked. Right? So, medium rare. Medium rare, not even medium. Rare. Where it's still bloody. Right? And it's just starting to whatever. And then I'm going to take it out. That's when I'd like to chop it up into smaller pieces and then put it in the fridge till tomorrow as the bone broth cooks all night. Right? So that it's going to be not even half cooked. So when I fill up the jars, it will hold its shape because I don't know what I'm going to get with whatever it was that I did when I had that thing in there for almost 12 hours. But it's stringy. So instead of having pulled pork, maybe we'll have pulled beef. Because I'm thinking to just can them in strings or something. Okay, so Andre, I need you to come turn this off again. Yeah, I know. Alright, gonna go wash my hands and get this in the oven. I think I'm gonna put it at 225 to start. Alright. Okay, so that bad baby is in there, that bad boy. There you go. So I'm gonna put the lid on this actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's at I put it on the oven at 230. Okay. And basically all I want to do. Oh my God. Where did the lid go to? Oh, it's right here. There it is. I'll put the lid on. Gotta be careful. Even if you overcook it, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But I just want it rare. And because I'm in the process of doing this other stuff, I'm getting ready now to get the canner, quickly wash the jars, and then get on with this. I wipe out your you know, your burner, right? So that when you're running your canner, it's not catching on fire. Because you got macaroni in there or something. Okay, I need you to line this up for me. I can't see the lines. I guess that was it. Never mind. It's okay. I got it. It should be fine. Is that maybe double check? Doesn't seem, no, it's popping up. There's a little line. Line it up. There. Okay, good. Thanks. Okay.
It's too good.
You like it, eh?
Has no flavor in the meat, but like if you have some salt in it, it's good.
Well, depends on where you're getting the meat from. It has. You just need a bigger chunk and lots of flavor. It's really good. Tastes like beef, but I think I overcooked it, and I think that when I can it might be good for beef soup. You're just saying, right? Or maybe, I mean, like, apparently it's supposed to hold its shape pretty good. So you want about, you know, an inch size or so, right? I've gone a little bigger. It is good though. What is that? I think that's bacon. It pulls. Do you see? Right? That's what makes me concerned about cutting them into 1-inch cubes. It will just disintegrate. So I would think, I don't know. That's why I want it half cooked. Less than half cooked. So it will hold its shape when I cut it. That, if I cut it too small, it's just going to break up into strips. So I'll probably just take a knife and And it helps if you can see what you're looking at, but see, it's stringy. You see? I don't know. Hard to say what we'll get. Okay, so I basically got 12 of these. They're not wide mouth, but they're 500 mils. They'll do. So now we're going to start cutting the beef. That should be fine. And honestly, I kind of want them like that. So I guess we're doing kind of like a raw pack. So again, I can't see very well. Now, in terms of what this feels like, well, it would have been helpful if I would have had a better cutting board. But you know, like there's fat and stuff on there. I can't see, but I'm gonna can it up anyway. I took out as much as I possibly could. So this lady said in her video that when you do it this way, the meat tends to still hold its shape. I don't know. Maybe with the fat in it, I could see it, but I don't know. It depends, I suppose, how you cut it. See, I can feel the fat on it, but that's where a lot of the flavor is, right? So I would think I need a these are big pieces of meat to cut. So the more you can try and keep it together, I suppose. Maybe when you fill it up, see, here's a big, do you see that big piece of fat? You don't really want that in the jar. So in that situation, you need another bowl. Here, we'll just put it in that. Now that piece of meat's okay. It's a little bigger than a 1-inch, but it will be okay as long as you don't make it too. Don't make it too tight in there. Right now, that lady that I was watching her video, she was rebel canning this. Good. Oh, she filled up her jars with the meat like I'm doing and didn't put no liquid in it. For YouTube she did, but she said they prefer it not. And whatever she's been doing has been working out fine. But again, you'd still have to heat it up one way or another. So, I mean, for a situation like that, you could put it in the oven with some gravy, like gravy or barbecue sauce or something like that. and heat it up that way. See something like this? Do you see how big it's right? I just put it in the jar. So for me, what I'm doing is I'm basically cutting off chunks as I'm picking out slowly but surely some of this excess fat, and I'm putting it over there, which at some point is going to be mostly fat with little bits of meat in it that you could bag up and freeze individually and still use it for something else later with another meal, because it's good. It's just not good to can with it, right? So this is actually not too bad in terms of, see, that's big, a lot of fat right in the middle of it. So this you're going to want to take out for the most part, and then, yeah, freeze it. And as long as you cut it fairly gently, it should be okay, I guess. I don't know. I think so. Yeah. So semi-tight, not too tight. You don't want to overstuff your jar. Here's another whole bunch of fat right in the middle of it. Yeah. So with that, you'd want to freeze it and then freeze it into smaller little packets or something. Little bags separate, just enough to fry with it. Something like that. Okay, Andre, I need you to turn off the camera now. I can't do it. Kind of busy. So yeah, I might leave that in the oven for 24 hours. Yeah, you can turn it off for now. Okay, again, I don't see very well. So honestly, I don't like doing this that much because whatever I did here isn't matching up in terms of how full the jars were. Now, I washed 12 jars and I basically broke it up, all of it, between the 12 jars as best as I could, minus the fat. Now what we're doing here is we're taking that delicious broth and we're giving each jar an equal amount at this point, which will be diluted unless of course you want to do that dry can thing, but at this point I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put the water in it because I want the gravy after the fact. I know it seems kind of tedious. I have to do it this way. So basically what we're doing is we're cold packing this after it's been cooked. Now if I could see better, I should be able to pour into each jar, but I don't know. I don't want to be wasting it because it's so good. So I'm trying to just do it that way because it's a little faster. Yeah. So this is where you technically would want bone broth. Technically, that's what you want. So, because I'm tired, and this actually didn't turn out too bad, now that I know what I'm dealing with, right? I can do this again tomorrow. The only difference is it has no smoke in it. Just has salt. That's it. Which is fine. And then after I'm done this, then I'm just going to try and, as best as I can, top off with water. And that's just the way it's going to be. You're still locking in nutrients. That's all that matters. I did put in a little teeny weeny bit of fat by feel. Nothing that I can see. It's what I'm looking at. Looking pretty dark and gray to me. Just, I can barely see the rims of the, what is that called? Jars. Alright. So that's done. And then a little bit of fat in each jar I see here. So we'll put it in the smaller ones. The other piece there, wherever it is, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, I put it back in here. I'll probably freeze it. Probably freeze it. I'll break it up into smaller bags, like smaller portions. And then when I want maybe to fry something, and I just want that little bit of beefy flavor, that's what I'll do. And didn't really want to touch it, but whatever. It is what it is. See, I can't see how full these jars are, nothing. So it kind of defeats the purpose. It's tasty though. Oh yeah, really tasty. You definitely don't want to throw that out if you like beef. Mix that in, fry your potatoes or your eggs with them. Be good. Okay, so now we're just going to take some cold water. I need a little measuring cup or a spoon or something. I want to lick my fingers. Like you don't even know. You don't even know. It won't take too long to do it this way. Get it all over the counter. But you'd be surprised. So now we're just going to top off that liquid with cold water. Because everything's cold now, right? And then don't forget you have to debubble a little bit. If I had broth, I'd use broth, but it's not ready. Tomorrow. That's okay. This meat is so rich, it's still going to produce a nice flavor with the broth. I think so. And even if it doesn't, you still have lots of nutrients in there. And you can add in a little bouillon after the fact. Not everything has to be perfect. Right? Now, technically, you want, well, yeah, you got to be careful what you're doing here. Next thing you know, it's overflowing all over my counter. Yeah, I can't see it. I don't like it. It's hard. Alright. The camera's going to kick out here in a second. So some jars have more meat, other jars have less. But of course I can't see, right? So I'm like, who cares? It's only for sidekicks anyway. Whether you make them yourself or you use the packaged kind, doesn't matter. Beef and broccoli. You can do both. Yeah. It'll be good. Oh my Lord, it's taking too long. Oh fuck. Sorry, I can't touch the camera. Andre's getting annoyed with me. I keep calling him for something. He's a bit of a hound dog on his computer. Oh my Lord. Why am I doing it why am I doing this the long way? And don't forget, after you fill up the jars and you debubble, you still have to give it time to relax for a few minutes. Right? Because it will settle even more. If you want to maintain your headspace. But this is really greasy, so I'd put your headspace at, oh, I don't know, 1.25 inches, even as far as 1.5 inches. If you've got people out there, dry canning this stuff with no liquid in the pressure canner, 1.5 inches headspace would be fine, because it just keeps the grease at bay, because beef is very greasy. Very, very, very greasy. I find it to be really greasy. I was reminded as to how greasy it can really get just with my hands the way they are right now. Oh my God, this is now, you see, this is where it starts to get hard. Oh, but I can do this. It will be worth it. Right? Just think of it like this. This is 12 meals right here. Not including what you're going to fry with yet. Right. Oh my Lord. I've gone through a whole bloody pot of water.
Oh. Hasn't even been 1 hour. How?
I need a coffee. Oh yeah. Okay. They say kind of cover up the meat, right? So, but, and that's only to help the heat travel through it, but whatever. Okay.
I think Marquine's home now.
Can you maybe turn off the camera for me? I couldn't because my hands are... Okay, as you can see, it's just too hard for me. I know nothing's matching up here. It is what it is. I ended up getting crap all over the counter. Andre's seen it. So I wiped down the rims twice because this stuff is really greasy. I had to wash these lids again because they were on the here, and when I was missing the jars, thinking I was filling them up, everything got all greasy. So I had to wash these lids again. So 2 times wipe the rims, and then I'm gonna sit down for a few minutes because we know it's a 75-minute dance once this starts, right? And I'm already tired, so whatever is in the oven can stay there till tomorrow, right? Only this time I'm gonna cook it with the lid, and I'm not gonna put smoke in it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I really do want to put tarragon, but why am I short lids? It looks like I've lost one. I don't know where it is. Isn't that interesting? Oh wait, is that it? No. Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Always wash these things before you use them. Okay? Okay, so I definitely wasn't prepared for this. Plus I've got a whole lot of stuff going on, as we know. So, but that's okay. Sometimes you need to take these detours when you can, right? So far 12 meals, so that's can't go wrong with that. I mean, right? It's still looking good, sorry. You know, even with all that water. Okay? And there is flavor within the meat, so it will, you know, get better. And you know, I mean, like, anytime you're doing anything with grease, it's a hit and miss, right? So I'll just make an extra effort to keep those ones much closer down to the ground, right? If they're gonna pop, they usually pop within the first week. But that's not to say that they won't. But I think I'm going to make an effort to use these ones up real fast. Well, not real fast, but I'm aligning them with the either homemade sidekicks or the ones I bought, right? Because, you know, I've got my own dehydrated broccoli and, you know, kale from 2015. That, yes, it's still green. So as long as it's green, it's fine. Okay, so I gotta rest for a few minutes, and this I'm going to put into small little bags right now while it's on my mind. I don't have a lot of room in my freezer, but I think it would be great to fry food with it. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video. The canner is now heating up, right? Then you vent it for 10 minutes, and then you do your little 75-minute dance, right? Because we're doing 500 mil. So basically what I've done, because I created that bone broth that's going to stew all night now, and because we didn't really get to eat any of this beef because, you know, I just canned it up, right? The one that I have now is in the oven. It's at 225. I'm basically just going to leave it like that till the morning with the lid on. I'm going to see this first time I've worked with brisket, and actually, I mean, beef is fatty. That's one thing I've noticed about beef. If you have tallow and it starts to, you know, turn, it's not as fresh as you'd like it to be. Starting to, you know, get a little rancid. You can actually use that to rub on your cutting boards, and, you know, those versus going off and buying oils and whatever. You could, you know, and your wooden spoons. You can use that to condition the woods, right? Whether they're wooden spoons, cutting boards, salad bowls, whatever. I'm just letting you know that. I read that, eh? Not that I knew that, but you can. You can use it for candles or whatever. So, because I'm gonna have a fair amount of broth, and I don't want that to go to waste. Now, mind you, so I paid $90 myself, right? And then whatever I ordered yesterday and got, what was it, today? Yeah, today. The bones, the shank, and that one piece of meat. And then I bought, a couple of yogurts, a little bit of vegetable peppers or something like that. That's it. The bill was like $120, but I used like I don't know. Let me see. I got this one here. Yeah, it was $128. Right? See, it's so bloody frustrating, man. You don't even know. You don't even frickin' know. And then you watch. I'll go get a pair of glasses, right? Prescription glasses, and they probably won't even last 3 months. And then I'll have to pay for new ones, and I'm not going to do that. All right. So what we got here is the yogurt for $13, some cottage cheese for $6.79, and then we got the beef brisket for $77, the beef soup bones for $8.43, soup bones for $8.60, and then the beef shank, which was nothing, for $9.31. So just for and a tip for $5. My bill was $128.39, but I cashed in, I think $110, so $110 I cashed in on my PC points. So my bill was actually only $18.53 for what I'm dealing with today in terms of the beef bones, the shank, and the brisket, okay? And I canned up basically all the brisket. And then that little extra fat that was left in after the fact, I bagged them up into 4 little bags, and I've got them in the freezer. And then we've got, between the 2 briskets, a fairly large sized bowl, right, of the fat that's going to be rendered to make tallow. Andre and I, Amari, all 3 of us, we never really got anything to eat out of the 2 of them. Well, 1, because that was just 1. I've got 1 in the oven. But because I've got a big pot of broth, honestly, and I just bought jars, I don't necessarily want more quote-unquote beef broth as I do. I want those jars with a little bit of beef and beef broth for those sidekicks. Yeah. Whether I make my own sidekicks, which is I'm going to do at some point, or I use the ones that I bought. And or whatever, right? It's good. It's actually very tasty meat. And then so the second one tomorrow, and because I'm working with it now, right? After it's cooked, you put your hands in it, and you could pull off the fat, right? It's easy, and it's delicious. It's really, really good. So, for what it's worth, what I'm trying to say is I ordered another one. And I used my PC points on that one as well. So $70 is off of my bill. So if they send me another piece, right, for 80 bucks, $5 for tax, and I get $70 off my bill, then it's only $15 for another big ass chunk of meat, which is going to add to the tallow, right? Because, you know, it can sit in the fridge for a few days. It's fine. It's beef. It's not going nowhere. If I had room in my freezer, I'd throw it in the freezer, but I don't. But that's okay. And I got the pot on, and I'm smelling the burner, right? I get a little nervous with that. And then we've got the 12 jars right now, right? You know, I mean, some of them might not seal because beef is very greasy, and you know, it can crawl and get under the rim and compromise the seal or whatever. And because I can't see very well, you know, I'm not like being real anal about grease, quote unquote, or fat. So, you know, hopefully all jars will seal, but sometimes they don't when you're getting into your really greasy greasies. So I'm going to do another 12 more jars tomorrow or so, right? I got them now. I have enough to do what I want to do, right? And I'm going to use the bone broth with that tomorrow at some point in the afternoon. I'll can it with the bone broth, so that will sit right up until 2, 3, whatever, and I'll use that. When the grease comes to the surface, you can, and I've done it, take a paper towel and just, right, and it attaches to the paper, and you can take it out, even though you have little maybe chunks of fat inside with the meat. It's the grease that really is the problem, right? So maybe tomorrow I'll degrease it a little better than what I did today. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because it is a very fatty meat. But it's delicious. It really is. So, for, what did I say? What was the first amount? For $15, I get what's in the oven right now, right? 18, 15, 20 bucks. So for $20, I got the yogurt and the cottage cheese, all the bones, the shank, and the brisket for 20 bucks. So I said to Andre, you know, maybe now I should get another one, because what's going to happen to the third one now, this is how I'm going to do it. So this one here that's in the oven will stay until the morning, and then I'll deal with it, get it ready, and hopefully I'll be canning it by the afternoon with actual bone broth versus using water. This one is just salted, nothing but salt rubbed into the meat, and it is what it is. The smoke actually wasn't that bad in terms of, I think I'm going to do the third one like I did the first one, with or without the lid yet. We're going to wait and see what we get with this lid on at 225 versus at 250 with no lid on. It started to brown too much on top. I mean, it wasn't burnt, but I mean, it made a really nice flavor with the broth, but then it also had the smoke in it too, right? And now that I've actually put my hands on it, and I found how easy it was to pull off the fat from the actual meat itself, I'm not all stressed out about it, because it just slipped off. And then it was my discretion as to how much I wanted to put back into the jar, right? But again, where the problem is with the actual grease. There's a difference between grease and fat, right? Little chunks of fat is okay. It's not gonna crawl up underneath the seal of your lid, right? But grease likes to crawl, and especially when you're pushing it out. So my only concern out of everything that I'm doing is jars not sealing, or if they seal, they'll pop. Normally, though, they'll pop within the first week or two. So if you can catch them, you're good. Normally, when that happens, I see one popped 4 days, 5, 6, 8, whatever days later. I end up just giving it to the cats. They're happy. Right? I don't worry about it too much. Unless, of course, I can see it pop, like, within, you know, I looked at it last night, got up in the morning, and it popped, and it goes in the fridge, and we may or may not eat it, or it may become cat food. It depends, right? Because I'm always just doing other things, and I don't, you know, I need more help when it comes to that kind of stuff, in terms of, you know, somebody else in the kitchen helping me with you know, the rigmarole of making meals regularly. And if I could be Superwoman, it would be great. And then, so the third one, it's coming in the later on in towards the evening, which by that time, this one that's in the oven should be canned, right? With whatever broth I've got, and then we'll see how much broth is left. But I said to Andre, well, you know, I kind of want to can the whole thing up and be done with it, because I've got all this broth. I'm not interested in canning just broth right now. And for the amount of money that I'm paying for this, which is really nothing in comparison to how much it would be if I paid full price, I'm saving about $50 per piece of meat. So between the three of them, you can put it at $135 to $150 right off the hop. And then I'm not even paying for two of them practically. $15 per chunk of meat. Like, come on. And the beef bones and the shank, that was free too. Like, come on, right? Considering everything that I've just been through with my shit being raided and my food disappearing. So it makes sense to get a third one. And then with that one, I told Andre, you know, what I don't have a lot of room in my freezer, but he said there's a little bit of room in Shimei's freezer. So maybe I can do a few bags of the meat after it's been cooked, because as soon as it comes in, this second one tomorrow should be canned, hopefully in the afternoon. I am kind of moving slow, but there's a grace period with beef, right? You know, okay. So I'm hoping to have it canned by the afternoon, depending on my energy level, so that in the evening when the other one comes in, that's the third one, and that will be the last one. The sale is over on the 14th. Tomorrow's the 13th. So I just came in at the right time with it. What do you call it? It's basically within the first hour and a bit, hour and a half, I'll be taking off that fat, putting that in the fridge with the rest of the fat, right? The bone broth can sit on low, honestly, right? Because I don't have a lot of room in my fridge either, but if you keep it on low, it will be fine. Maybe take out the bones, because if you leave it for a long time, you know, it gets bony tasty, right? Sometimes, you know. So it depends, eh? We'll just see. We'll see how solid the bones are by tomorrow night. If I think I can leave them in for till the next day, right, then I'll do that. And then, because what gets delivered tomorrow, by 10 o'clock at night, it's going to be in the oven, and I'm going to smoke it, pepper it, and a bit of salt like I did with the last one, because actually the flavor is, the juice, the remaining juice, oh, it's so good. It was amazing. It's like those beef dips, you know, you have those beef dips. Oh, it's so good, right? Mm-mm-mm. So I said to Andre, you know, I'm going to take at least a quarter of it. I mean, if I had the room, I'd do half. I really would. After it's been cooked for the night, get up in the morning, just slide off the fat. And because it comes in long, like, you know, the way it is, you don't even have to cut it. You just take a few chunks, just spread it out, right? Put it in, you can vacuum seal it. Maybe I'll vacuum that. I'm not going to pull out my vacuum sealer. That's too much work. But it would be good to vacuum seal that beef in long strands, you know, like this, right? Kind of flat. Make a few packs like that. And then when you want to have sandwiches, oh man, it'd be so good. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll vacuum seal a couple of packs anyway, right? And that would be specifically for sandwiches. I told Andre, if we haven't made our own buns, you can go to the grocery store and buy those nice big buns, and we'll put the meat in between after it unthaws, with some lettuce and a tomato and some sandwich pickles and some mayonnaise and some mustard on the beef. Oh man, that'd be so like the good old days, Yeah. And then the other quarter, or 2/3, like another quarter we can eat. And then that still leaves me maybe a half to do a final can of a few jars with the leftover broth. And then be done. And then I just have to worry about the tallow. Now, I better have that freaking grinder, because if I don't, that was expensive. It's not a joke what's going on around this house right now. Seriously. If she has the audacity to run off with a freaking steamer, yet of all things, who's to say she didn't find that meat grinder in the playroom? Because you know she was maybe in there poking around too. I think her main focus was between my bedroom and the bedroom versus in the playroom, but she was stealing in the hall. So with her stealing in the hall in 2 locations, plus the stamps, I mean, it was a free-for-all. It was just grab this, grab whatever, like, God. So I'm on the hunt to go look for this freaking meat grinder. Only I don't have a lot of time to be digging around looking for that shit, because I'm already digging around looking for other stuff. But it would just be so much easier to deal with that fat versus trying to cut by hand, because it takes 3 hours to cut by hand. So it's up for debate how I'm going to do that. Maybe when the canning, maybe tomorrow when it's not tonight. Maybe tomorrow when I'm canning the second batch, being that I'm standing there, that's when I'll start cutting it and getting it ready. And I'll continue to look for the meat grinder as I'm looking for everything else that I'm looking for, right? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then the tallow, well, I don't know. I'd put it at 4 to 6 jars right now at this point, and with one more coming, we'll say between 5 to 8 jars, half, like full pint, 5, more than likely 5 for sure, maybe as much as 8 jars. Yeah, that's really good. And then I'm going to can those in a water bath after I've worked with them, right? So once you render, you put it in a container after you strain it. It's best, honestly, to put it in the fridge and let it solidify, and then turn it over and take off that gel, right? Because you're going to get it anyway. Even if you strain it right? And any impurities will go to the bottom usually. Usually it settles to the bottom. And then once you've done that, you're going to have to sterilize your jars, right? So you wash your jars. I'm just going to put mine in the oven at 250, leave them in there for however long, half an hour. And then I'll put that tallow into a pot and I'll gently warm it up just so that it's pourable. And then I'll pour it into the jars, which will more than likely be hot or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as they're sterile. And then I'm going to water bath it. I think my little nibby popped up. So I gotta go and put the timer on for 10 minutes to vent it. So yeah, and then you water bath for 30 minutes. That's what I read. So hold on a minute. Okay, well I'm not quite finished this video yet. There's another reason why I'm getting like not to want to can as much as I used to, because you know, it makes me nervous, right? You know, 'cause I can't see. Don't respond as fast as you used to, right? So, what I'm thinking to do is maybe start cutting up that fat. Right? Cut half now, half tomorrow. Right? Get it, you know, get it going. So I'll get this stabled here in a minute. It was making some weird noises. But yeah, no, tomorrow I'm going to use this smoke again. But I'm not going to do the bacon. And I'm going to put the lid on it instead. Right? I guess it's like anything, you know. You have to work with it a little bit to see what works best for you. Right? So, they had a...
We all know about the mRNA bioweapons masquerading as vaccines, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. They are experimenting on all of us. And guess what? They claim it's legal. Thanks so much for tuning in, friends. Honestly, one of the
I have to pay attention now, don't I?
Before we begin,
don't forget.
Word about an extremely valued sponsor. As gold continues
they estimated the full price to be $121.
You guys want to know the hard truth?
So we'll just say 120 bucks.
Well, my audience knows.
So if I would have bought 3 of them at regular price on average, it would have costed me $360 to buy 3 of these things. Okay? So far, I've spent $89, so we'll say 90, and then we'll say 20, that's 110, and then for the one that I just bought now, we'll just say 15 bucks, so it's 110. So for $125, right? I got 3 of those pieces of meat for 125 bucks. And currently, I am using the jars that I have in the house. So it's not like I even spent money on jars yet, right? So that's not bad. That's not bad. And, you know, I'll have at least 24 jars of pint size of this, for sure. I figured between 5 to 8 jars of tallow. I don't know what to do about this. I don't think I want that. That I do want, though, right? So maybe I'm going to pour that grease. I'm going to pour that grease.
Mind control and the experimentation on the American public. Did you know it's legal? Well, we're trying to stop that. We're going to talk about that so much more in this one with my new guest, Jesse Beltran. And my thanks to Judge Coleman for helping us set this one up. Jesse was born in California. He's worked as a paramedic. He's developed 3D virtual technologies to some degree over the past. And his website is MindNexus.
I'm going to pour that grease into a bag. Check it out. And then that little bit of flavor stuff, I'm going to pour it into the bone broth. That's what I'm going to do.
And thank you for inviting me on your show. Well, thanks for coming on. And just so the
So I'm
audience
going to
knows,
stand here and listen to
you've been
these
on
guys
the Journey to Truth podcast, coast to coast. You've been out
do my
there, putting
75-minute
information
dance.
out. And I think what people need to understand, and we're going to play a couple of tweets
My
here in
nail.
just 1 second to set the
I had to
stage,
rip off my nail.
regarding
Oh, it so hurts.
EIA mind
Right up.
control patent. But
You can see.
people are being experimented on in the United States of America every day in different ways.
That's
In one way,
all in part and parcel working in the kitchen.
I would also say 5G is
Okay, so I'm going to put this now in the fridge because this here I want for my bone broth. But you can see what's happening, slowly but surely. So I'm going to put it in the fridge, and then tomorrow, well, take out the grease. Maybe we'll try and fry something in it. We'll see if it's worth keeping. If it's worth keeping, then what I would do is I would warm it up slightly, run it through a sieve just to be on this, you know, like with the little bit of a cheesecloth, and then pour it into a clean jar and put it in the fridge, right? But for now, it's going in the fridge so that tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to take a spoon, or maybe I'll run it under hot water. Well, it's a bit of a lip, so take a spoon and scoop out as much as I can till I get to the very bottom. Right. And then that we want for flavor. It's so, so good. It's like when you have, you know, the beef on, right, on a bun, and then you dip it into that beef broth that has no gravy, it's just broth, and it's deep, rich. That's what that is. So maybe it had something to do with that. And the fact that we're using brisket. Yeah. So almost done. I only got a couple of more minutes and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm resting. 6 minutes. This is just a detour. So I'm not even going to worry about trying to get this uploaded. When I got energy, that's when I'll put it on the computer and because we have to do this again tomorrow. And then between 6 and 7, another one comes. Oh, and I did already start chopping some of the fat. Some of it I can't because my knife isn't sharp enough. But for what it's worth, I'll just lay it out flat. And it will sizzle. And because it's different, right? It's between fat and on the verge of becoming skin, but it's actually not skin, so it doesn't cut very well, right? And actually, when you grind it up in a grinder, it tends to get all stringy, you know, that kind, right? But you can still render what little fat is on that, so that's what I'm going to do. I just leave those pieces. I'm just cutting what I can cut. So I've got some of it cut now, so that's good. But I'm exhausted. I'm thinking about my fabric that should be in the bedroom. I'm thinking about my freaking brand new meat grinder, which I better freaking find it. Just whatever. Right? I'm thinking about my bolts of fabric that went out the door. My cowhide. Oh, that's another thing. I've been yawning. And I normally don't yawn. So what, well, I've been up for a while. So basically what will end up happening, 4 more minutes. Basically what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to turn off the canner and then basically go down and lay down and rest. Honestly, I prefer to take out the jars about an hour after the canner cools down. Right? It takes about a half an hour for the pressure to be kind of right where you can open it safely. But if you open it too soon, because that liquid in those jars are going in circles, right? And as soon as you introduce, and I've said it before, cooler air into the hot air with the canner, as soon as you crack the lid, and right, that just speeds it up. So you kind of want to just give it an extra half an hour maybe. But then if you leave it in it, you know, all night, which it can happen sometimes, and you know, that isn't necessarily good for it either. So actually, I don't even know where my things are. I'll have Andre look for them. So tomorrow will be, well, this one's in the oven. Oven is hot. It can just stay there. At some point I might flip it around, but I'm not worried about it at this point. It's because it's all going to end up, this one that's in the oven is going to be canned. And that one's just plain old salt. So one will be smoked, 12 jars. That one will be between 10 to 12 jars, depending on how much I want to space it out. And then the third one, depending on how big they give it to me, half of it will either go, part of it will go into the freezer for sandwiches. So we'll say a quarter in the freezer, a quarter to maybe, I don't know. It depends how much broth I have left. But definitely a quarter to eat. And then you still got half to can with the leftover broth after you're done this one, which should work out pretty good. Yeah. Should work out pretty good. And all that for $125. Save myself $200. Yeah. And I might be having to use one case of jars that I bought because I had two here. And if I was using one size liter jars, it would even be gone faster. I'd be buying 7 of these, or at least 5. And honestly, I don't want to be doing this too long. It'll be the last time I'll be doing beef for a very long time, if ever again. Okay, canner is off. I can relax now. Go lay down, maybe take a nap. Andre can put that grease in the fridge for me. And we'll start fresh again tomorrow.